What's up, Tackle Warehouse fans? Jake here with another how-to video, part of our DIY series. So winter's kind of getting into full swing here. Now's a great time to, to get in the garage, tinker with stuff, kind of update your tackle, kind of do some maintenance. And one of the things we want to talk about is dyeing your braided line. So if you got a rod like mine, you fished your frog all summer long, all season long, you might have some faded braided line. So even if your braid has faded and kind of lightened up a little bit on the color, it doesn't mean your braid has gone bad. Braided line will, more than likely lose its color over time, but you can simply re-dye the line and get many, many more years of use out of it. Some anglers get multiple seasons out of one spool of braid, and just because it's lost a little bit of its color doesn't mean that you need to replace the spool of braid completely. So dyeing the line is going to save you a ton of money and just help you extend the life of that braid. There's a few options that you got here to dye your braided line. The first one here is going to be with a different series of markers. So we sell a couple down in our accessory section on tacklewarehouse.com. We have some markers from Spike It, and then my favorite one is from Fitzgerald. This is actually a paint marker. So this is one you want to be careful with. Don't be doing it on top of your boat carpet or somewhere where you can make a mess. Just be careful when you're doing it. The last option we got here, we actually have a dip and dye method that we're going to show you as well. This is another one. Proceed with caution. You knock this thing over, you can completely ruin some boat carpet, so proceed with caution whenever you're doing this stuff. So with the braid markers, super simple, easy to use. Easiest way to dye your line. You get one of these markers, you take your braided line, and all you gotta do is run that marker right up and down the line, and it brings that color right back, dyes it black, and really gets that dark black look to it, so it camouflages itself. Flip into cover and stuff like that, and that stuff's gonna camouflage and fish aren't gonna be able to see it as well as that brighter color line. Now I'll do it on a piece of white line just to show you how effective this marker is. I mean, it just takes a couple of swipes. You gotta rotate the line around a few times, and that completely marks the line out. So you won't have that bright color on your braid anymore. So that's one option you could do. The second option, with the dip and dye method, the best way to achieve this is gonna be with an unpegged Texas rig. So keep your Texas rig unpegged so the weight can slide up and down the line. So you're gonna slide up and down the line just like that. And what you're gonna do is you're gonna drop that weight down into the dip and dye, and then you're gonna run that braid right back and forth. And as you can see, when it runs back through there, you're getting 100% coverage on that braided line. So you won't have any issues of missing a spot or anything like that. That dye is gonna go completely around that braided line and completely dye it down to black. So, super simple, save yourself a lot of money, get everything well maintained over the winter and get that braid back to original performance with that darker color. Now we got a couple tips and tricks for you guys, something to think about when you're kind of going through the garage and doing some maintenance over the winter time. You can also reverse the braided line onto a reel. So if you have a reel that doesn't have any line on it and it's well suited for the type of braid that you're already running on one of your other reels, you can simply reverse the braid. So that braid that's on the bottom of that spool never really makes it to the water, doesn't really get used unless you're long lining a frog or something, doing something crazy. That bottom half of the spool is never coming out and it's always going to be fresh. So you can just spool the line backwards onto another reel, and now that bottom half of the spool, completely fresh, brand new, still that dark moss green that you want, never seen the water, is going to be on the top half of this spool. So just something to think about. You can reverse the braid. Other options you can think about too, if you say your favorite line, you're a big Power Pro fan, and we're out of the moss green color, but you really want that Power Pro 50 pound, but we have it available in maybe high vis yellow. You can just buy the high vis yellow and then dye yourself that first 5-6 feet of line, and then you have that 5-6 feet of line that's that dark green, black, whatever color you want, and you're gonna get the same performance that you're used to. So just because maybe your favorite braided line is out in the color that you want, don't forget that you can buy an alternative color and then dye the braid that color that you're looking for. Another thing a lot of guys are doing specifically for flipping, pitching, and punching into matted vegetation, a lot of anglers are starting to use the high vis braided line and then dyeing a very specific section of braid at the very end. So maybe 5 feet, 6 feet of that line, they're gonna dye completely black. And what that's gonna do for you when you flip and punch into that matted vegetation, you're gonna know exactly how deep your bait is going, so you can really dial in your bite. You can figure out, hey, I'm getting bit in 3 feet of water, I'm getting bit in 4 feet of water, and know exactly how far down your bait is going, so you can figure out that you're fishing in the most productive water. Also figure out, you know, you're getting your bites halfway through the mat, you know, down at the bottom towards the top. Just helps you gain more information to kind of dial in the bite of whatever you're doing out there. Another thing that some anglers are doing as well, something that we picked up from some of our pro staffers, is you can kind of mix and match different dyes and different braid color combinations to really kind of camouflage that line and get it more close to the color of the vegetation that you're fishing. So Spike It specifically, they sell different colors of these braid markers. This one's a moss green. And what some anglers are doing is they're using that moss green on top of yellow braid, and that really gives a brighter green color that I personally think more closely matches matted vegetation. So maybe you fish a lot of wood, maybe you fish a lot of grass, and try experimenting with some different colors, you know, with maybe yellow line and the green markers like this right here. You can try brown markers on maybe white braid if you want to match, you know, types of brush and wood, whatever kind of environment you're fishing in. So just something to think about, throw in the arsenal you can experiment with, kind of match different, you know, different environments and, you know, different bodies of water that you're fishing in, and really get that braided camouflage blend into the background and help get yourself some more bites. All right, that's gonna wrap up today's how-to video on how to dye braided line. For more information or purchase any of the products that we're seeing here today, make sure to click shop on the link in the description below. If you enjoyed this week's video, follow our page and let us know in the comments if you want to see any more how-to videos, or if you got any other ideas of stuff that you want us to film in the future.